Good YouTube, it's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. Before we start, I need y'all to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, make sure the bell icon is on all so you can get all the new notifications. With that said, let's get into this. Two-division world champion, retired superstar boxer Paulie the Magic Man Malignaggi. He finished his career 36 wins, 8 losses, no draws, 7 wins by way of knockout. 5 times in his career, he was knocked out. Safe to say, with Paulie Malignaggi having 44 fights in his career, he was not a big puncher. Out of 44 fights, he only had 7 knockouts. He was 5'8" with a 71-inch arm reach, okay? So with that said, Paulie Malignaggi, he won world titles at 140 and at 147, junior welterweight and welterweight. Paulie Malignaggi, he's fought some of the biggest names in the sport of boxing in the history, some Hall of Famers, but Paulie Malignaggi was not always successful. The 2 biggest wins in his career was the Zab Judah fight, in my opinion, and the Juan Baby Bull Diaz fight, okay? He did win the world title, obviously. So with that said, Paulie Malignaggi, he fought the likes of Miguel Cotto. He fought Ricky Hatton. He lost to Ricky Hatton. He lost to Miguel Cotto. He lost his first fight with Juan Baby Bull Diaz. He lost to Amir Khan. He lost to Adrian the Problem Broner. Sean Porter, Danny Garcia, he lost to. And he lost his last fight against Eggington, okay? So with that said, it's safe to say Paulie Malignaggi, the biggest fights in his career, he lost. But Paulie Malignaggi is a student of the sport of boxing. He is a mouthpiece and a colorful analyst for the sport of boxing. And Paulie Malignaggi, he doesn't hold back. So Paulie Malignaggi was asked about world champions in the sport of boxing. And he completely directed his attention to undefeated 3-division world champion, superstar boxer Gervonta Tank Davis, who is 26 wins, no losses, no draws, 24 big wins by way of knockout. Gervonta Tank Davis is 27 years of age, 5'5" with a 67-inch arm reach. But with that said, Paulie Malignaggi, he honed in on that. And he stated that there's just far too many belts in the sport of boxing. He stated that back in my days, you had to prove that you was a world champion. Now fighters are happy to promote themselves as world champions with secondary belts, as well as their promoters, promoting their fighters as world champions with secondary belts. So Paulie Malignaggi, he's referring to Gervonta Tank Davis's promoter, who is a legend in the sport of boxing, icon, Hall of Famer, superstar boxer, who retired undefeated, 50-0, 5-division world champion, former pound-for-pound king, the man known as Floyd Money Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather, he promotes Gervonta Tank Davis with Mayweather Promotions. So with that said, Floyd Mayweather, he refers to, Gervonta Tank Davis as a 3-division world champion, okay? And Paulie Malignaggi, he's not happy that Floyd Mayweather is doing that because he's saying Floyd Mayweather is cut from his cloth. Floyd Mayweather is cut from his era. He said back in our era, you had to prove yourself. You didn't flaunt secondary belts and consider yourself a multi-division world champion. And he says that Floyd Mayweather should know better because he looks at Gervonta Tank Davis and he says that Gervonta Tank Davis is a 1-division world champion. He said he never won the world title at 135 and he never won the world title at 140. He won the world title at 130, but he was never the official champion at 135 or 140. He said he won secondary belts against Yuriorkis Gamboa, 3-division world champion, Olympic gold medalist. He fought Gamboa for the vacant WBA 135-pound title, but it was the regular title. It wasn't the official unified title, okay, the super title. And then he stated that, he won it against Mexican star boxer Mario Barrios at 140, but again, that was a regular title because the true champion at 140 is undefeated, undisputed British superstar boxer Josh Taylor, okay? So he said Josh Taylor is the official champion. So how could Gervonta Tank Davis be a champion at 140 when he didn't fight and beat Josh Taylor, okay? And he stated that at 135, he didn't beat the world champion who was Vasil Lomachenko, I believe at the time, was the 135-pound champion. He said that, so how could he be the champion at 135, okay? So he says he's a 1-division champion, and Floyd Mayweather, who once upon a time complained about the too many belts being in the sport of boxing and watered down the sport, Floyd Mayweather, he stated that they need to do away with some of these belts. And he said, but at the same time, Floyd Mayweather is promoting his fighter. He gets it. He's a promoter, and he has to, brag about his fighter, okay? He says, but he's not a 3-division champion. He's a 1-division champion. He's not a multi-division champion. And he needs to fight better opposition, okay? He needs to up his level of opposition. That's the complaint when it comes to Gervonta Tank Davis, with many people being boxing pundits, media members, or fans within the sport of boxing. They want to see Gervonta Tank Davis in the ring with better opposition. So Paulie Malignaggi, he's stating that, Gervonta Tank Davis is a 130-pound champion. He's not a 135 nor 140-pound champion, okay? Now, many people are going to look at Paulie Malignaggi and they're going to say, well, who are you to speak when you lost your biggest fights, your title fights? Well, he is a world champion. He is officially a world champion in 2 separate weight classes, So with that said, Gervonta Tank Davis, he does hold the WBA regular title at 35 and 40. So Paulie Malignaggi, that's not entirely Gervonta Tank Davis' fault. That is the sanction bodies. They're watering down the sport themselves, adding in too many belts into the sport of boxing. You have the WBC, World Boxing Council, President Mauricio Suleiman introducing a franchise title into the sport of boxing, causing much confusion within the sport of boxing, okay? Too much confusion. Now you have multi-world champions and franchise champions. You look at the lightweight division, okay? You have George Kambosos Jr., who changed his status after he shockingly defeated former unified lightweight world champion superstar boxer Teofimo Lopez, and he did so majority decision. And now he's flaunting his titles as if he's undisputed. Initially, he stated he knew he had to go through undefeated WBC lightweight world champion superstar boxer Devin the Dream Haney to officially be undisputed. Now, George Kambosos, because the president Mauricio Suleiman is saying that George Kambosos Jr. should be viewed as the undisputed champion, well, he changed his status on his social media to the undisputed lightweight champion. So, it can't be, explained more than just looking at the lightweight division and the confusion that's there, okay? Because we have 6 undisputed 4 major sanctioned belt holders in the history of the sport of boxing. And George Kambosos Jr. nor Teofimo Lopez are one of them. Okay, you have Bernard Hopkins at number 1. You have Jermaine Taylor at number 2, who beat Bernard Hopkins to become number 2. Then you have Terrence Crawford at 3, junior welterweight undisputed champion to hold all 4 belts. Then you have Oleksandr Usyk, Olympic gold medalist, who became undisputed at cruiserweight. Then you have Josh Taylor, who became undisputed at junior welterweight himself. He beat Regis Prograis for the IBF title. Then he beat Jose Ramirez in a unification bout, okay? So with that said, he beat, the 2 world champions that become undisputed officially at junior welterweight. Then most recently, you have 4-division world champion Mexican superstar boxer Saul Canelo Alvarez, who defeated the world champions at super middleweight, all the world champions at super middleweight outside of David Benavidez. Now, David Benavidez, he lost his title on the scale, the WBC title. So Canelo Alvarez, he fought Caleb Smith for the vacant WBC title and Caleb Smith's WBA title. So he collected all 4 major sanctioned belts to become the 6th fighter in the history of the sport of boxing to become undisputed. And he did so, becoming the first undisputed super middleweight in the history of sport of boxing. So there's only 6. If that's the case, Canelo Alvarez will view himself as the 7th undisputed champion behind Teofimo Lopez, who beat Vasyl Lomachenko before Canelo Alvarez unified the division at super middleweight. So he would be considered 7, that being Canelo Alvarez. And everybody would consider George Kambosos Jr. at number 9, okay? At 8, okay? And nobody views them as such. Everybody views Canelo Alvarez as the number 6 undisputed champion to hold all 4 major sanctioned belts, the Ring Magazine linealship in the history of the sport of boxing, okay? So the confusion, all you have to do is point to the lightweight division if you want to be even more confused, if you want to get an explanation that there's just far too many belts in the sport of boxing. So I agree with Paulie Malignaggi. I still view Gervonta Tank Davis as such because that's what he's titled as, but I do agree there is too many belts, too many titles. There's too much confusion within the sport of boxing. And I definitely feel like, it needs to be eliminated for sure. And I do agree that Gervonta Tank Davis should be fighting better opposition. Now it's being talked about again that Gervonta Tank Davis is going to be facing off against the WBA lightweight interim champion, Rolando Rolly Romero, who was his initial opponent for his December 5th fight, in which he had to have a replacement because of some serious allegations alleged against Rolando Rolly Romero that saw him removed from the fight. And Gervonta Tank Davis faced off against Mexican star boxer Isaac Pitbull Cruz in replacement. Now there's talks that he's going to the WBA, World Boxing Association President Gilberto Mendoza orders Gervonta Tank Davis to fight against Rolando Rolly Romero when neither one of them are the official WBA champion, because that would be one George Kambosos Jr. So when you got sanctioned bodies ordering fights as if these are two world champions, when you have a guy in George Kambosos Jr. who holds the WBA, WBO, and the IBF and the Ring Magazine belt, and you're still considering them the champions and ordering them to fight each other, well, that speaks volumes in itself. So let's see how this plays out and unfolds. But Paulie Malignaggi has some very choice words for Floyd Mayweather and Gervonta Tank Davis when it comes to Gervonta Tank Davis being regarded as a 3-division world champion. But that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Raw. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
Oh, it is your boy Jada Kiss. Make sure you check out Blue Blood Sports TV. It's going down.